Cruise Control is your on-air automotive magazine. Go to cruisecontrolradio.com and like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This is Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
Yes, indeed. Welcome, everybody, to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. We are belted in. We are cinched tight because we're going to get on that accelerator and do some serious moving this week. Probably, well, mostly legally, but you never know. Nonetheless, we have an awful lot to talk about from the industry, and we also have some guests this week. So, Fred, what do you think?
Well, Les, we've got a lot to get to. You're right. Absolutely. The Chevy Silverado is going electric. Mark Royce from GM announced it this week. We'll talk about that, but don't get it twisted. Gas models are not disappearing right away.
That is true. And of course, Silverado is going electric. Gee whiz, Ford went electric with the F-150. Anyway, what's going to happen over at Ram? From concept to consumer, GM says its Lyriq will look the same as the prototype. In other words, when we see these being launched as a concept vehicle, your rule is still in effect, Fred. If it has door handles and side mirrors, they're going to make it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's exciting to see this Lyriq, which is a huge digital dash that reaches from A-pillar to A-pillar, and some really, really slick lighting details in the front. All that's going to make it into production. Excited about that. And Mercedes redesigns its CLS sedan. One slick-looking four-door, isn't it?
It is really slick. It almost makes me wonder, how much do I have to lean over to get in the back door? But
it's like chopped. It's like chopped down.
It looks low. Maybe it really isn't that low, but we'll talk about it. Over at Hyundai, they're saying, especially to me, hey, it's not a truck. Okay? You got that? It's not a truck.
Yeah. They're calling it an urban adventure vehicle, the Santa Cruz. We talked about that a little bit last week. Drips and drips and drips are coming out of information about that, so we'll talk about that. And Ford adds more premium models to its Explorer lineup, including the Enthusiast ST with 400 horsepower, less expensive than the ST, and the Platinum Hybrid. So there's a lot going on with the Ford Explorer. We wanted to know more about it. So Lee Newcombe, who is the Ford Explorer marketing manager, will join us on Cruise Control in a little bit. Exciting stuff. A 400 horsepower Enthusiast ST. It sounds good to me, Les.
It sounds an awful lot like SUVs are becoming hot rods.
Yeah, it sure does. Well,
just like cars.
All that and more on Cruise Control when we get back. I'm Fred Staab. He's Les Jackson. We will see you real soon, so keep it buckled because plenty more is coming up. We're just getting started. Cruise Control is live every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern on Facebook and YouTube. For the latest news on new models, automotive tech, industry insider interviews, and new vehicle reviews, tune in live starting at 10 a.m. Eastern every Saturday on YouTube and Facebook Live.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. We are glad you're with us. We're going to jump right into our stories this week, Les, and it involves GM's Factory Zero plant.
Yes.
I have to say, I find it a little strange that all this talk about zero I just think of the Elvis Costello song, Everything Less Than Zero. Everything is less than zero.
That's right. Also, zero used to, when you called a person zero, that was a pejorative comment.
Yeah, but now it means zero emissions, I guess.
Zero emissions, zero impact.
Zero impact.
Yeah.
You never want to be talked that way, though. Well, there's less. He made zero impact.
That's right. Well, that's many women I dated would have told you that.
Well, they are calling it Factory Zero. It's an assembly plant in Detroit and Hamtramck, Michigan. A lot of people have a hard time saying Hamtramck, don't they?
That's right. Well, you kind of want to just say two syllables, Hamtramck.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's Hamtramck.
Yeah. Well, they're going to build the Chevy Silverado electric full-size pickup. Mark Royce from GM announced this week. And it will be designed from the ground up to be an EV, harnessing the best of the Ultium platform and Silverado's proven capability. They estimate the range will be 400 miles on a full charge. And they look to start building this very soon. Will it be built specifically as an electric vehicle, or are they going to modify the current model? I don't know. He says it's going to be built specifically for it, which is interesting. Now,
I think it's going to be either or.
Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, in order to avoid people being shocked, notice what I did there?
Yes, I did.
There was an announcement by a GM spokeswoman who said, don't worry. We are still building and going to build gas-powered Silverados. And matter of fact, we are making significant updates in terms of design and capability, and they will be rolling out very soon. There's going to be a fairly extensive facelift for the 2022 Silverado 1500, so that they were not going to do away with the gas engines anytime soon. What do you think the towing capability will be of these electric?
It's going to be an awful lot because, of course, you have all the torque possible as soon as you turn the motor on, which means way beyond what the gas engine would do until it revs up. So I think the towing capacity, will it be double? No. But I bet it goes up 25, 30, 40%.
Wow, that's a big prediction. The other thing that you're not, it's just going to be like a gas-powered vehicle, though. When you tow, if you're, for example, I'm driving the F-150 hybrid right now. I got 30 miles to the gallon bobtailing, right? But if I was to put a car on a trailer and tow it behind that, it would not get that. It would tow it because it can tow 12,000 pounds.
It would tow it fine, but you'd be using up a lot of electricity.
Yeah. Yes, you would be using up a lot of electricity.
Yeah. So your range, if you were just running pure electric towing something, your range would have to be cut in half.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we will keep you up to date on both the upcoming 2022 Chevy Silverado and the electric Silverado as we get more details in. Interesting news about this vehicle. This is the Lyric. You can see some pictures of it on our Facebook page. The Cadillac Lyric, which had a big reveal not that long ago, is their all-electric premium crossover. And, it has some slick features. It has lights across the front of the vehicle, very sophisticated lighting across the front of the vehicle. It has a dashboard that kind of spans the full width of the vehicle, A-pillar to A-pillar. And sometimes things like this kind of get watered down in the transition, don't they? And
They do.
But this one not so much. We'll talk about that when we come back on Cruise Control Radio. I'm Fred Staab. He's Les Jackson. When we come back, we'll tell you why you're going to see all those features in the Cadillac Lyriq when it comes out. So stay tuned to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. We'll be right back. Check out the live show on our YouTube page, Cruise Control, Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. We are Les and Fred. I'm one of them. Before the break, we were talking about the new Lyriq, which we're showing an actual video of it on our Facebook page. I just want to say, I think it's a slick-looking vehicle, but I'm not that thrilled with the front, Fred. I know you like those lights, but to me, it just looks a little bit Star Wars-ish.
They call it the Black Crystal Grille, Les. It's almost like it doesn't need a grille, but they made one out of lighting effects. That's
yeah. It's just it just doesn't. It's I don't find it bad looking. It just doesn't appeal to me.
Okay, you would be even okay if it was just a striped area, as a striped sort of semi grille.
Just a big logo or something like that. That'd be fine.
You know me. I still think electric cars need a grille because it looks like somebody without a mouth.
I fully agree. A grille is the personality of the car.
Yeah. And I know it may no longer be needed, but now it can be a styling element and they can have fun with this. Well, what we're talking about here is the fact that the Cadillac Lyriq, we've seen the prototype, and now they're saying this will be the production vehicle. The only difference will be the side mirrors, because the original prototype had the camera mirrors.
Yep, can't do that yet.
Can't do that yet. I think that will be coming, though, because let's face it, for electric range and wind noise and things like that, they would be great. I don't know when we will see that. Any predictions when we will see the side view mirror go away and be replaced by a camera?
My friends at NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, are in fact working on trying to come up with a proposed regulation. They're working with the car companies, of course, to incorporate as much as possible. So, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty quick. I mean, we've been talking about this and hearing about that type of technology for a long time. And, I think it's good to finally see it, because let's face it, those big ears hanging out in the wind really cut down your mileage, don't they?
Yeah, but the biggest stumbling block with the video mirrors is keeping them clean in all weather.
So you need some kind of sprayer or something like that?
Well, yeah, unless you mount it inside, but then if you do, you gain a larger blind spot. So it's got to be kind of outside. So how do you shield it?
Yeah, interesting. Well, let's move on to our next story, and it involves the Mercedes CLS getting a redesign. The Mercedes CLS is a very slick-looking four-door sedan, long hood. It's got some cool strakes in the hood to show off its looks, and it is really almost looks like a chop-top hot rod, doesn't it?
It does. Everybody seems to be going the Aston Martin route on. Which, by the way, I have no problem with.
No, Aston Martins are great-looking cars. They really stand out.
But this is a kind of a bold look in a way for Mercedes.
But you know what? They call it a coupe, and that really annoys me. They call that a coupe because it's got a swoopy style. But if it's got four doors, to me, it's not a coupe.
Yeah, it's a sedan coupe.
It's a slick
I
sedan.
don't have a word for it,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. Well, it's going to get an even sportier look, and it will get more aggressive. 5 twin-spoke or multi-spoke rims, 2 new colors, a new radiator grille with Mercedes pattern, a 3-dimensional star pattern with chrome gloss finishes. I don't think it lights up, but because a lot of their cars have a lit logo, but it doesn't do that. It's going to have open pore brown walnut and high gloss gray wood. Very trendy, Les Jackson. I'm sure that's found in your living room.
Of course.
Yeah, and it will get a redesigned multifunction steering wheel. We talked a lot about Mercedes steering wheels, that they're really trying to make that a center for technology. And then there's something that allows you, I'm going to use a word you hate. Here it comes, to build a bespoke version of this vehicle. Bespoke.
That keeps getting more painful.
You like that word, don't you?
No, I don't.
Manufacture.
Custom made. By the way, technologically, this is going to have an electric air conditioner compressor.
Now that's interesting. Is that a first?
It's about time. I've been thinking about that for many years.
So no belt. No belt.
No belt.
Yeah. And probably easier to package, easier to put under the hood. Probably smaller, wouldn't you say, than a big compressor?
Sure. Well, think about your window air conditioner.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little electric compressor.
Yeah. So sounds like a good idea. I think we will see that trickle down. It's got a second generation starter generator and a 48-volt electrical system with an output of up to 21 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of electric boost. And there is energy recovery and the possibility of glide with the engine switched off. So it's basically a mild hybrid, isn't it?
Right. Right. With enormous amounts of technology.
Mm-hmm. And
as, of course, Mercedes is known for.
Yeah. And then it has the MBUX, which is their infotainment system, which has the ability to learn thanks to artificial intelligence with predictive functions, and it can anticipate what the user would like next. For instance, anyone who telephones a specific person on Tuesdays during their drive will receive their telephone number as a suggestion in the display. We're going to see more of this. Now, it could be good in the case of navigation. I think I told you this before. When I drive a certain route, I don't want to go over a certain bridge. Happens to be the George Washington Bridge, because it has like 25 lanes merging down to 8, and
That's right.
Always a nightmare. I'd rather go out of the way.
Yeah.
10 minutes because it's clean, and I go over another bridge, and that's what I like. Now, is
there another bridge handy?
Yeah, relatively handy. And so if I if I do this all the time, I would like my navigation system to say, "Hey, I know this route's shorter, but I know you like to go the other way, so we'll go the way we always go."
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's right. I would agree. Take me the way I want to go.
Where does it stop, though? It might get super friendly, like, hey, you've had 2 cups of coffee today, and I know you normally stop for Starbucks at this time, but I think you really should wait because you don't want to over-caffeinate. What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to say, listen, really, you don't need that donut. You've been gaining a little weight in the past couple of weeks. And also, you really need to wash the front deck of the house. Yeah,
it gives you a honey-do list.
It's called the nag feature.
The nag feature. Well, who knows if that will be part of the new Mercedes CLS? We do know, though, that there's a lot going on at Ford when it comes to the Explorer. And when we come back, Lee Newcombe, who is the Ford Explorer marketing manager, will join us and tell us a little bit about some cool new versions of the Explorer, including this Enthusiast ST, 400 horsepower less. It's quite the hot rod. I think that sounds good. It's actually going to come in at a lower price than the current ST. So we'll pick Lee's brain on that and get some up-to-date info on that when we come back on Cruise Control. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Got a lot of information up there on Facebook, a lot of pictures and videos of vehicles we're talking about. So head on over there and throw us a like while you're there. And we will be right back with more Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. We'll see you right after the break. Got a topic or a vehicle you'd like Cruise Control to cover? Leave us a comment on our Cruise Control Radio Facebook page. And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Hello, everyone. I'm Fred Staab. Les Jackson is with us, and we've been joined by Lee Newcombe, who is the Ford Explorer marketing manager. Lee, welcome to Cruise Control Radio. How are you?
Thank you, guys. Good morning. How are you?
All right. Well,
That's great. We don't think we're having as much fun driving this week as you probably are.
Yeah.
Not envious or anything. Just commenting.
Well, we should just jump right into it. I mean, Explorer, Lee, is such an important brand, such an important vehicle for Ford. And tell us a little bit about what's going on for the 2021 model year.
Yeah, we had a great announcement this past week. We announced a new entry-level ST. So it's called the Enthusiast ST. We really focused on power, performance, and looks. And the Enthusiast ST delivers on all those fronts for a starting price of just a little bit over $48,000. So you get a 400 horsepower engine, dynamite looks, great interior seats with Myco suede inserts, and Copilot 360 assist. So great product. Four-wheel drive also standard.
Now,
so it's basically fully equipped as it comes out of the box. So you've got an awful lot for the money.
Right, Les. That's what we were focused on. Tons of content, but a little bit more affordable price for those people that want to jump into an ST.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How does it differ between the ST, and how much more would you have to spend on an ST versus the Enthusiast ST?
Yeah, so it's about a $5,000 walk to what we'll call the fully loaded ST. A fully loaded ST comes with the standard street package, Copilot 360 Assist Plus, some other treatments. But for those that just want the real pure driving performance and looks that ST delivers, Enthusiast ST is really where you want to be.
Okay, well let's just why what kind of performance were you looking for, and what have the buyers been telling you? You know, well, are they saying we want 600 horsepower and you settled on 400, or are they just
I'll
saying
settle for 400? That's pretty good.
That's right. I mean, what made you go to this package? Other than the fact that you personally wanted it, and I don't blame you for
That's a good reason.
Yeah.
Well, that always is it makes it more fun to chase it when it's something you want.
Exactly.
But Les, we never get any complaints about horsepower. I'll tell you that right now. No one ever says, well, I wish you would have delivered 600. 400 is plenty in that vehicle. So it's been just a really great opportunity for us. You know, we got a lot of customers moving out of cars into SUVs, and they want something that still provides that fun to drive element. And the ST really delivers on that front because you can still, 400 horsepower, rear wheel drive bias, good front to rear balancing on it, but still then the versatility and capability the SUV provides. So it's really the best of both worlds for those customers.
We are talking to Lee Newcombe, who is the Ford Explorer marketing manager, about this Enthusiast ST, and I'd have to say that is just a great-looking vehicle. What size wheels does that have, Lee?
Those come with a standard 20-inch wheel, but you can upgrade to the ST Street Pack, which brings the 21-inch all-black wheels, red calipers, and improved brake pads.
And how are you building that 400 horsepower? What is it, the 3.5 EcoBoost?
It's a 3-liter EcoBoost twin turbo.
Okay.
Yeah. 10-speed transmission, and then you get seven selectable drive modes with that as well. So, you're set up for all kinds of conditions.
And is it all-wheel drive?
It is all-wheel drive. That's right.
That's the cool thing there. I mean, it's not only 400 horsepower, but you're putting it down to all wheels.
Right.
Yeah, great on the dry or the wet. How many people are taking these seriously off-road? I don't mean the people just driving on the beach, but people that are going out trekking a little further into the wilderness. Are there a lot of those people, or are most people just very happy to beat their friends at the stoplight Grand Prix?
When we do our, especially in COVID times, I think we've seen people stretch into the off-road even more than they did before. Explorer has one of the highest rates of customers taking their vehicles off-road on a fairly regular basis. Of course, off-road means different things to different people, but pretty good portion of Explorer customers adventure out into the wilderness with their Explorers.
Yeah, very good. We are speaking with Lee Newcombe, who is the Ford Explorer marketing manager. And, part of your job is figuring out what people want. Les kind of alluded to it a little bit about, horsepower and things like that. What else are they asking for in the Explorer, and how do you give it to them?
Technology is a big why buy for all of our customers. And with Explorer, the Copilot 360 Assist Plus system, delivers your lane centering, your intelligent adaptive cruise control, your traffic jam assist, where, it'll take your car to a full stop or accelerate through to your cruising speed, speed sign recognition. So if you're going to get, helps you not get caught in speed traps when you're in cruise control, and then when that speed limit drops to 55 and you're set at 65, it'll drop you accordingly.
Wow.
So those, yeah.
That's important.
Right.
That's a money saver there. That's
right.
Yeah, that's worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're always trying to build out more technology into our vehicles, and Explorer's taken a huge leap forward in that front, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there's something else to talk about, some more news this week, and it involves a couple of more choices, and both of them come on the Platinum trim level of the Ford Explorer.
Yeah, thanks, Fred. So, on the Platinum, that's our highest series. That's the ultimate Explorer. It's all about luxury and tech. And so what we've brought to it this time is our 3.3-liter hybrid engine is now an option. So if you were looking for a hybrid application in your Platinum, you now have that ability. It comes standard with a 4x4 drivetrain. And then also, if you live in a southern market and you don't ever see snow or horribly inclement weather, we now offer the 3-liter EcoBoost in a rear-wheel drive only. That Platinum's always been standard 4-wheel drive, and you can now get that in 2-wheel drive.
Now, perfect question for a marketing guy. Yes, Les and I both live more northern in the country, and to us, the idea of a 2-wheel drive SUV is like, wow, that when you go to resell it, people are going to say, where's the all? They just expect it. I mean, people want all-wheel drive. I talk to neighbors. They're like, does it have all-wheel drive? Everything is like, does it have all-wheel drive? But we kind of forget that our friends that live more in Texas, Florida, places like that, really wouldn't have need for all-wheel drive unless they're going off-road or something like that.
Right, and that we have a great customer base, and our customers are always giving us feedback, and that's exactly the kind of feedback we were getting. And so we said, you know what, you're right. We should definitely offer that to our customers. It creates a little bit lower price point to get into a Platinum. And we have tons of things like roll stability control, traction control. We still have 6 selectable drive modes that are all applicable and a rear-wheel drive. And that vehicle is intelligent enough to handle a lot of conditions.
Is the 2-wheel drive a different load capacity than the 4-wheel drive?
If you're talking about towing,
or
Les, it's
towing?
still,
Yeah.
yeah, no, 5,600 pounds on the 3-liter EcoBoost, so plenty of towing capacity with both the 4-wheel and the 2-wheel drive derivatives. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. And I'll put you on. I'll put you on the spot here, Lee. We're talking to Lee Newcombe, who is the Ford Explorer marketing manager. How many different trim levels can you get in the Ford Explorer? Seems like there's a lot of choice.
There is a lot of choice, and we're working hard to bring even more to the future. But I think we're at now with the base, XLT, Limited, ST, Platinum, King Ranch. So we're up to 6.
And
we're up to
wow.
6.
Wow.
And the Police Interceptor too, which is another one.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
I saw one of those this week.
Up close and personal,
wasn't
Les?
coming. No, he wasn't. He went by.
Did you get to see the inside of it, Les?
That's. I'm not looking forward to something like that. But one never knows.
Let me give you a tour of the inside of this. Maybe you want to get some pictures for your
come
show.
In, let me show you the back seat here.
Look at how much legroom it has. Yeah.
That's right.
So we are.
So that your hands don't flail around, we put cuffs on you.
Yeah, just sort of keep everything in place. Yeah. Well, Lee, we want you to stick with us because we're going to talk more about the Ford Explorer. I want to talk more about, when we come back, the hybrid system. I'm in the F-150 hybrid truck this week as my press vehicle, and I'm really amazed with the mileage on that big truck. So we'll get into the hybrid system on the Ford Explorer when we come back with Lee. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. We are going to be right back on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Stay tuned. Don't forget to head over to cruisecontrolradio.com and like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We will be right back. Get even more automotive content from Cruise Control. Head over to our Cruise Control YouTube page and subscribe.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. And along with us is Lee Newcombe, who's the Ford Explorer marketing manager. We were talking about the Enthusiast ST model and the fact that now you can get the Platinum with rear drive and the hybrid model. Lee, I tell you, I'm in this new F-150 hybrid as my press vehicle this week. And just as a sign that your marketing is working, my next door neighbor came over and said, that's the most popular selling vehicle for the past 40 years. I was like, wow, do you work for Ford? I was like, yes, I know. But I mean, it must mean the message is getting through there, Lee.
Everyone loves F-150s. It has been the most popular vehicle in America for a long time running, and well-deserved. So glad your neighbor's all over it. That's fantastic.
And there's some carpenters in the area. Apparently, my neighbor said when they get here at 7 a.m, there's a group of 6 carpenters walking around the vehicle and looking in the windows and that. So he said, I just thought I'd tell you that because you probably weren't awake yet or didn't see them. But I said, I'm surprised they didn't load the tools into the bed and take off in it,
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little more about the hybrid Ford Explorer. I think a lot of people may not know that there is a hybrid available. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so when we launched our all-new in 20, we launched a hybrid exclusively on our Limited series. And it comes in a standard, Unlimited, it's a 4x4 application, made it to a 10-speed transmission, almost 500 miles on a tank of gas. And I'll tell you, when you drive it, if you didn't have the hybrid badge on it, you would never know it's a hybrid. The transition between the ICE engine and the battery is virtually seamless. It gives you more power, 318 pound-feet of torque. So we really wanted to expand that offering up into our Platinum series because we think it's a great fit for our Platinum customers that really love technology.
Hybrids make a lot of sense. I mean, you get great efficiency. You obviously get better fuel mileage. I'm testing a hybrid Lexus this week, and it's SUV, of course. And it's a great way to go, and I think in the long run it's worth the extra money because these things tend to be very robust.
Yeah, I agree with you, Les. You know, we were one of the first to bring hybrids to the SUV market when we launched it on our Escape in, I think, 2009. And we've kind of been refining that capacity and that capability ever since. You know, you get a little bit of added boost of power, and you get better fuel economy. And I think it's a great way as we transition more and more to battery electrics in the industry. I think this is a great transition tool for people to get more and more comfortable with battery technology and what it can provide.
Do you think, like I know on the F-150, it's very small badging, and as you said, if you didn't know you were in the hybrid model, you know, from a marketing sense, in the old days, you used to have a completely different looking vehicle to make it a hybrid. Now it just kind of blends in. So how do you make people aware of the hybrid and say, hey, you know what, you have this option to have a Ford Explorer with all the storage and all the capability, but you can get much better fuel economy?
Yeah, it's funny. Our engineers have done such a great job of designing the product. You don't even know it's a hybrid. I mean, you have, you know, it's not like the battery is bulging out into your second row seating. The drive transition is super smooth. So we badge it just enough, I think, for those customers that want that differentiation. And of course, you know, we have probably the best dealer body in the entire United States. Our dealers are so in touch with our products and our customers that they really, really do a great job promoting hybrid technology to our customers.
We know that a bunch of police departments are using Explorers. Are they using hybrids to an extent?
Oh, for sure. And you know, you think about it, Les. You know, you never when you drive by a cop car or even see one in a gas station, what's it doing? It's always running, right?
Always.
Because they have so much equipment, they cannot power it with just a normal starter battery. With the hybrid solution, guess what? You don't have to run your engine. You can just run off that battery power, and it provides a tremendous fuel savings to the local municipalities for those cars. It's in the thousands of dollars annually in terms of fuel save.
Wow.
So that will run lights, radios, all the other stuff they have to run off the battery while they're stopped. Because, like you said, Lee, most of the time, what do? They're idling. They say they go from idling for 3 hours to 100 miles an hour, basically.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Which would qualify as severe duty, I would say.
Yes. Yes. And we have a great relationship with municipalities all over the United States. And the Explorer Interceptor is one of the best-selling police vehicles in the country. And so that's, you know, we worked with them closely designing the all-new Police Interceptor, and it's paid off quite well for them.
And I'm sure you guys are going to gather data on durability, because that's a lot, as I said, severe duty. By the way, I think Ford Escape hybrids there's still some of them running around as cabs in New York City.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they must have 500,000 miles on them.
They
by
probably do. Yeah. I think they would be well worn by this point. Probably time for a Ford Explorer hybrid cab. If you make, I don't think you make a taxi cab version of that, but it certainly would hold up to the problems of New York City roads, I'm sure.
I like that idea, Fred. That's a good one.
That you can use that marketing idea there, Lee.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
We were talking with Lee Newcombe, who is Ford Explorer marketing manager. You know, these two models, how did they come out? I mean, you just kind of decided that more people wanted to get into an ST, and if it was 5,000 less, it might open it up to more people. I mean, do you work on that number? Do you say, hey, you know, what would get you into a ST, and if they said it was 5,000 less, you kind of work it that way from a content standpoint, I guess?
A little bit. You know, we look at where kind of our old sport model was in terms of price point. So we've got a lot of those customers coming out of 2 and 3 year leases that are now maybe looking to get into an ST. So the Enthusiast makes it even more approachable for them. We work with customers all the time, and they're always telling us, hey, we'd like more versions of the ST. So that's another way we come about this. Of course, the southern states with the rear wheel drive, Platinum, and then the hybrid technology, people are always looking for more battery electric power. So we have a great relationship with our customers, and they help drive our business quite a bit.
Are the dealers looking for anything more that you're not offering? It'd be hard to believe they are, but you never know. Dealers probably want it other than free.
No one knows the customers better than our dealers in the market.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, and we work with them real closely. We have a kind of a constant feedback loop with them. So yes, they definitely have some ideas on where we want to take Explorer, and we're in violent agreement with them.
Violent agreement, did you say?
That's right. There's more places we can take it. We're excited to take it there, and I hope, in the next month and a half, maybe we can get back together again and talk about some more news on Explorer.
Well, okay. That sounds like a deal. That sounds very interesting. Violent agreement.
Keep going, Fred. We can probably get him to tell us what's going to happen.
Yeah, save some time, Lee. I mean, it's only a couple of months away.
Nobody,
make an announcement. We won't tell anyone.
It's just us three.
Yeah,
just the three of us.
Yeah, just hanging out, talking.
And the
vehicles.
rest of the country, but don't pay attention to them.
Yeah, they'll just sit quietly and not say anything. I like when you laugh, your camera goes up and
we
down.
always try. We always try.
Yeah. Well, a violent agreement. I guess that's a good thing. Yeah. It must be a marketing term, Lee.
They know their business, and man, sometimes when it aligns with our thoughts, it's very exciting. And then we've got some great news coming that's really going to take Explorer in a different direction.
Well, Lee,
we're excited about that.
We're rapidly running out of time. Lee Newcombe, Ford Explorer Marketing Manager. They want more information on these Ford models. Where would they go?
Ford.com or your local dealer. You can order one right now.
All right.
There you go.
Well, thank you very much, Lee. We appreciate you being on Cruise Control. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.
Bye.
Cruise Control is your on-air automotive magazine. Go to cruisecontrolradio.com.